Nikola Jokic isn't just great, he's unstoppable. The guy is so dominant that he holds the highest career player efficiency rating in NBA history. He recorded the fastest triple-double ever. He's the only player to lead an entire postseason in points, rebounds, and assists.
Jamal Murray to Jokic. Jokic backs up for the win! Yes!
And somehow, he's also the first player in NBA history to rack up 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a single season. But here's the crazy part. Those are just a few of the insane records he holds. Dig deep enough, and you'll find even more records that prove Jokic is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. So today, we're breaking down every insane record Nikola Jokic has set so far. Let's get into it. Nikola Jokic isn't just great, he's different. A 7-footer who plays like a point guard, drops stat lines that shouldn't be possible, and makes history without even looking like he's trying. He's already got the MVPs and the championship, and yet somehow, he's still finding ways to one-up himself. And if there's anything that backs that up, it's the absurd career milestones Jokic keeps stacking. These aren't just numbers, they're proof that he's not only the best player on the planet right now, but on a trajectory that cements his place among the all-time greats. And there's no better example than what he pulled off against the Mavericks on January 14th, 2025. With one smooth pass in the second quarter, his 8th assist of the night, Nikola Jokic quietly made history. In the Nuggets' 118-99 win over the Mavericks, he became the fastest player ever to reach 15,000 points, 7,500 rebounds, and 5,000 assists, doing it in just 709 games.
Trying to shake off Howard, quarter over the top, good again!
The only other player to ever hit those numbers that fast was Larry Bird. Now, Bird isn't just some Hall of Famer. He's Larry Legend, a top 10 player all time, a 3-time MVP, and one of the most complete offensive forces the game has ever seen. Even at his peak, it took Bird 799 games to reach this milestone. But Jokic did it 90 games faster. That's an entire season's worth of games. And here's the thing, no one else has even come close. Since Bird hit this mark nearly 40 years ago, not Jordan, not LeBron, not Magic, not anyone has matched it. Then Jokic comes along, fresh off another summer of horse racing in Serbia, and shatters it like it was inevitable. Now imagine what he'll do with those extra 90 games. At this pace, he's not just passing Bird, he's putting this record in a completely different stratosphere. But it's fitting that Jokic is the one to break it. Just like Bird, he's an entertainer, draining impossible shots, throwing absurd no-look passes, and making basketball look fun. There's a reason Bird is called Larry Legend, and there's a reason Jokic is the Joker. But as crazy as that milestone was, there's one record that puts Jokic's dominance into full perspective. One number that distills everything he does on the court into a single metric: player efficiency rating, or PER. PER is the ultimate all-in-one stat, designed to measure a player's per-minute impact while adjusting for pace. It accounts for nearly every major statistical category: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks.
8 seconds. Porter down the lane. Kuminga.
While also deducting for missed shots, turnovers, and fouls. Developed by former Memphis Grizzlies executive John Hollinger in the 1990s, it was created to provide a single number that encapsulates a player's overall contribution on the court. Over the years, it has become one of the most widely used advanced stats in basketball, often referenced by analysts and front offices when evaluating a player's true value. To understand just how absurd Jokic's numbers are, consider the scale of PER. A rating of 15 represents a perfectly average NBA player. A score between 20 and 22.5 signals a borderline all-star, a solid player who could make an all-star team in a good year. Anything between 22.5 and 25 indicates a definite all-star, someone consistently among the league's best. Once a player's PER climbs above 27.5, they're in MVP conversation, and if it crosses 30, they're in truly historic territory. A PER above 35? That's a level of dominance so rare that it's been reached only a handful of times in NBA history. Across the entire history of the NBA, only 33 seasons have ever ended with a player recording a PER above 30 while playing at least 15 games. The single highest PER ever recorded for a full season belongs to Nikola Jokic during the 2021-22 season. But what separates him from almost every other player in history is his consistency at this level. Only 3 players have managed 4 separate separate seasons with a PER above 30: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Nikola Jokic. Plus, his career PER of 28.5 is the highest in NBA history, not just among active players, not just among centers, ever. Higher than Michael Jordan's 27.9. Higher than LeBron James's 26.9. Higher than anyone who has ever played the game.
Clock ticks, gotta put one up. Jokic for the win! Oh!
For more perspective, Jordan and LeBron are widely considered the two greatest players in the modern era. They were the gold standard, the players whose numbers were supposed to be untouchable. And yet, by this metric, Jokic has surpassed both of them. This isn't just a statistical anomaly. It reflects the complete mastery Jokic has over the game. No center has ever dictated the pace of play like this, controlling the offense, setting up teammates, scoring efficiently from everywhere on the floor, and doing it all without seeming to break a sweat. His game isn't built on raw athleticism or flashy highlights. It's pure basketball IQ, timing, and skill, executed at a level that leaves defenders helpless. PER isn't a flawless stat. Critics argue that it doesn't fully capture a player's defensive impact or off-ball contributions, but as a measure of efficiency, production, and total offensive impact, it remains one of the most telling numbers in basketball. And right now, no player has ever done it better than Nikola Jokic. That said, PER is an incredible measure of individual dominance. But if there's one accomplishment Jokic himself would value the most, it's leading the Denver Nuggets to their first ever NBA title. And he didn't just win it, he put together one of the most statistically dominant playoff runs in NBA history, breaking records that had stood for decades. The 2022-23 playoffs showcased Jokic at the absolute peak of his powers. Denver entered the postseason as the #1 seed in the Western Conference and bulldozed through the competition, starting with a 4-1 series victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Get it to Murray, 30 seconds, Jokic, then a little hesitation, puts it in!
Against the Phoenix Suns in the second round, they faced a tougher challenge, as Kevin Durant and Devin Booker pushed them to 6 games, but Jokic dominated with multiple 30-plus point triple-doubles to guide Denver to a 4-2 series win. Then came the Western Conference Finals. The Los Angeles Lakers were supposed to be a serious threat, with LeBron James and Anthony Davis leading a team that had caught fire in the second half of the season. But Jokic and the Nuggets made quick work of them, pulling off a stunning sweep to reach the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. Jokic averaged an absurd 27.8 points, 14.5 rebounds, and 11.8 assists in the series, putting up 3 triple-doubles in 4 games, including a 30-point, 14 rebounds, and 13 assist performance in the closeout Game 4. In the finals, Denver faced the Miami Heat, a scrappy, battle-tested squad led by Jimmy Butler. But Jokic made sure there would be no fairy tale ending for Miami. He controlled the series from start to finish, averaging 30.2 points, 14 rebounds, and 7.2 assists on 58% shooting as the Nuggets won in 5 games, clinching the title on their home floor. But the numbers Jokic put up throughout the entire postseason were even more historic. Over 20 playoff games, he averaged 30 points, 13.5 rebounds, and 9.5 assists. He became the first player in NBA history to record at least 500 points, 250 rebounds, and 150 assists in a single playoff run.
To the game, Jokic goes right at him. Durant on the help defense. Joker gets it back.
And then he took it even further as he became the first player ever to lead all players in total points, total rebounds, and total assists in a single postseason. When it was all said and done, he had finished with 600 points, 269 rebounds, and 190 assists. The accomplishment was so unprecedented that it's now known as the postseason trifecta, a statistical feat never achieved by Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, or any other NBA great. To put that into perspective, no player had ever led all 3 major statistical categories for an entire postseason before Jokic did it. Not even in a shorter playoff run. Jokic did it over 20 games while carrying his team to a championship. For a guy who was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial and entered the NBA as an overlooked second-round pick, this was the ultimate statement. Jokic didn't just win a championship. He shattered records, defied expectations, and cemented himself as one of the most uniquely dominant players the game has ever seen. But that was just one chapter in Jokic's statistical dominance. A season before leading the Nuggets to their first title, he accomplished something even the all-time greats had never done. The 2021-22 season saw Jokic put up 27.1 points, 13.8 rebounds, and 7.9 assists over 74 games, one of the most well-rounded statistical seasons in NBA history.
Up low, long pass, Bones has it, and he puts it away.
But more importantly, he became the first player ever to total 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a single season. For context, no one, not even Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had ever hit those marks in the same year. Chamberlain came closest in 1967 but fell just 8 points short. Oscar Robertson missed the mark by 15 rebounds in 1961, and Abdul-Jabbar, one of the most dominant forces in NBA history, came up 87 assists short in 1975. What made Jokic's feat even more impressive was how he closed the season. Down the stretch, with Denver battling for playoff positioning, he elevated his game to another level, averaging 35-plus points and 10-plus rebounds in each of his final 5 games. That made him the first player since Chamberlain to record at least 35 points and 12 rebounds in 5 straight games, a rare statistical outburst that solidified his MVP case.
Jokic, 8 on the clock, right by his man, and Jokic.
By the time the regular season ended, Jokic had totaled 2,004 points, 1,019 rebounds, and 584 assists. He was the only player in the NBA to rank in the top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists, proving that his impact wasn't just about scoring, it was about doing everything at an elite level. It was the kind of season that redefined what a center could do in the modern game. Jokic wasn't just dominating as a scorer or a rebounder, he was controlling every facet of the game, playing like a point guard in a 7-foot frame while anchoring his team on both ends. But if there's one statistic that truly captures Jokic's dominance across scoring, rebounding, and playmaking, it's the triple-double. Now, a triple-double is the recording of double digits in 3 of 5 statistical categories: points, rebounds, assists, steals, or blocks. And it is one of the hardest feats to accomplish in basketball. The most common version involves points, rebounds, and assists. And over the years, it has become a headline-making achievement, no matter the game's outcome. Why? Because it's just that difficult to pull off for any player, let alone a center. A quick glance at the top 20 all-time triple-double leaders tells the story. Only 3 centers have ever made the cut. Wilt Chamberlain, a man who holds some of the NBA's most untouchable records, ranks 9th all-time with 78 career triple-doubles. Domantas Sabonis, a modern-era big man, has carved out a place with his versatility. And then there's Nikola Jokic. What separates Jokic isn't just his presence on this list, it's his complete dominance over it.
There he goes. Air Serbia ready for takeoff.
With 158 career triple-doubles and counting, he holds the record for the most by any center in NBA history. No other big man even comes close. He has already surpassed Magic Johnson and is rapidly closing in on Oscar Robertson for 2nd place. And that is impressive because most big men aren't primary playmakers. Their roles typically revolve around scoring in the paint, rebounding, and defending the rim. They depend on guards to run the offense. But Jokic is different. He orchestrates the Nuggets' offense like a point guard. He manipulates defenses using his elite court vision to create opportunities for teammates. He controls the tempo of the game in a way no other center in history has done. His ability to score, rebound, and facilitate at an elite level makes him the most complete offensive center the game has ever seen. But his triple-double dominance doesn't stop in the regular season. He takes it up a notch in the playoffs. A look at the all-time playoff triple-double leaderboard again shows how rare it is for centers to be among the greats. Only 2 true big men have cracked the top 20, Wilt Chamberlain and Nikola Jokic. However, in the 2023 playoffs, Jokic shattered Wilt Chamberlain's long-standing record of 7 triple-doubles in a single postseason when he recorded 10 triple-doubles that postseason, the most ever in a single playoff run.
Man game. Jokic inside, put it up and in. Oh, and one.
And he did it in fewer games than Wilt, proving it was more than just opportunity, it was pure dominance. Now, with 18 career playoff triple-doubles, Jokic already ranks 3rd all-time, trailing only Magic Johnson with 30 and LeBron James with 28. That means he's already ahead of Russell Westbrook, Larry Bird, and Jason Kidd, all of whom built their legacies around filling the stat sheet. And if you thought his dominance ended there, then you are wrong. Back in 2018, In just his third year in the NBA, Jokic did something the league had never seen before. In a game against the Milwaukee Bucks, he recorded a triple-double in just 14 minutes and 33 seconds of court time. That shattered Jim Tucker's 17-minute record, making Jokic the fastest triple-double in NBA history. And the craziest part? He's the only true center among the fastest triple-double performances ever. And with the way Jokic is playing this season, averaging a triple-double with 29.1 points, 12.7 rebounds, and 10.5 assists per game, he's rapidly moving up the all-time leaderboard. He's already surpassed Magic Johnson for third all-time with 158 career triple-doubles. And now, he's slowly closing in on Oscar Robertson and all-time leader Russell Westbrook. At this rate, it's only a matter of time before Jokic stands alone at the top of the triple-double rankings, not just for centers, but for any player in NBA history. With that being said, when it comes to NBA records, one name always seems to come up: Wilt Chamberlain. One of the greatest players in basketball history, Wilt holds some of the most unbreakable records the sport has ever seen, averaging 50.4 points and 25.7 rebounds in a single season, scoring 100 points in a game, dominating the stat sheet in ways no one else ever has. It's rare for any player to even be mentioned in the same breath as Wilt. He barely ever shares statistical feats with anyone. But while Jokic isn't on Chamberlain's level of all-time dominance, there's no doubt he's the most dominant player in the NBA today. The Joker is constantly putting up numbers that were last seen decades ago or have never been seen at all. Take his 20th triple-double of the season. In a win over the Sacramento Kings, Jokic dropped 35 points, 22 rebounds, and 17 assists. That stat line put him in truly rare company as he joined Wilt Chamberlain as the only player in NBA history to record a game with at least 35 points, 20 rebounds, and 15 assists. And while a side-by-side comparison shows Jokic hasn't matched Wilt in career numbers or accolades, one thing is becoming clear: he's the closest thing to Wilt-level dominance at the center position in today's NBA. This season, he recorded 19 assists in a single game against the Pacers, the second most ever by a center, just 2 shy of Wilt's record of 21.
Jokic has it. Give it to Brown. Fabulous pass!
In fact, when you look at the highest assist games by a center in NBA history, only 2 names appear over and over again: Wilt Chamberlain and Nikola Jokic. But that's not all. Jokic is now just the second center in league history to reach 5,000 career assists, joining only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who racked up 5,660. And at the rate he's going, it won't be long before Jokic surpasses him. And if you need one more example of Jokic following in Wilt's footsteps, consider this: the 100-point game is one of the most mythical achievements in NBA history. While Jokic hasn't scored 100 in a single game, he did something similarly absurd, becoming the first player ever to record at least 100 points, 30 rebounds, and 15 assists over a 2-game span. Early in the 2024-25 season, he erupted for 56 points against the Wizards. Then, just days later, he followed it up with a 48-point performance in a win over the Hawks, once again proving his dominance just like Wilt Chamberlain. But even as great as Wilt, Kareem, Shaq, Hakeem, and other legendary centers, there's one thing Jokic has over all of them. He isn't just productive, he's ridiculously efficient while doing it. And when evaluating efficiency, 2 advanced metrics define elite-level impact: player efficiency rating and true shooting percentage. Player efficiency rating, or PER, is the all-in-one stat that measures a player's overall impact in terms of scoring, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and everything condensed into a single number. A league average PER sits at 15, while anything above 30 places a player in truly elite territory.
Got that short roll. Jokic gonna shoot a 3. That's good!
Then there's true shooting percentage, which accounts for all field goals, free throws, and the added weight of 3-pointers, providing the clearest measure of scoring efficiency. Jokic holds the single-season record for the highest PER in NBA history, with 32.9 in the 2021-22 season. On top of that, he owns the all-time career record in PER at 28.5. And yes, PER may not be the major stat in player greatness, but when a stat's top 10 consists entirely of Hall of Famers and all-time greats, it holds weight. And at the top of that list is Nikola Jokic, ahead of legends like Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But his true shooting percentage further cements his place among the most efficient scorers of all time. With a career true shooting percentage of 63.7%, Jokic scores from every spot on the court, whether it's draining threes, dominating in the post, knocking down mid-range jumpers, or sinking free throws. Plus, his box plus minus is the highest in NBA history, proving that no player has ever had a greater per-minute impact on the floor. He leads all time in offensive box plus minus and win shares per 48, making it clear that no one generates more value for their team than he does. So Jokic isn't just putting up monster numbers, he's doing it with historic efficiency. Players rarely reach this level, but Jokic makes it look routine. His combination of scoring efficiency and elite playmaking makes him the ultimate offensive weapon. The crazy part is that he's still only 30, and he's not slowing down. With at least 3 to 5 more peak seasons ahead, there's plenty of time for even more accolades to pile up. But even looking at what he's already accomplished, Jokic is in rarefied company.
Jokic backs up for the win! Yeah!
Now in his 10th NBA season, he's a 7 times NBA All-Star, 4 times All-NBA First Team, and a 3 times MVP winner, a feat only 9 players in history have achieved. When he won his first MVP in 2021, he became the first center since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000 to claim the league's top individual honor. Now with his 3rd MVP, he's the first center in 6 decades to win 3 MVPs in a 4-year span. And with the way he's playing in the 24-25 season, a 4th MVP looks more than possible. If that happens, he'll have done what no one else has: defy voter fatigue. On top of that, he's already a Finals MVP and an NBA champion. And at this rate, those numbers are only going to grow. Jokic isn't just great, he's building a legacy that might put him among the very best to ever play the game. From the records to the numbers to the accolades to go with it, Jokic went from a 2nd-round pick to breaking records nobody thought could be touched. And he might just be the greatest offensive center the game has ever seen. But do you think Jokic can break into the top 5 of all-time conversation? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA breakdowns.